Hello, it's Rita and Scott, another Cosmic Dialog today. And I think we're going to talk about gatekeepers because Rita's been discovering some things about her own gatekeepers or spirits or guides and things like that. So, should we go in the future and talk about what we learned about your gatekeepers?
Yeah, sure. Let's
Okay.
do it. You're going to start this time.
Oh, okay, great. So, let's go a year in the future. So, let's say it's almost November of 2021. And the things that through what Rita has learned about her own gatekeepers, we through what Rita's learned about her gatekeepers, we've learned that there are some universal truths to these ideas of guides and spirits and ancestors who actually surround us. So I remember Rita talking about this concept about a year ago, where even other people who would come to her house acknowledged, you have spirits here, you have gatekeepers, you have people who tell you and guide you and protect you. And she started like really honing in on them last year. And then a lot of your home environment just seemed to like flourish. And often things changed, things that disappeared that you no longer needed. That was one thing that started happening, is that things that you didn't need anymore and you knew you didn't need them, they just started like effortlessly leaving your house. And then also they would actually, because you couldn't attribute it to like your own energy or your own doing, but they actually brought you the people that you needed. Like, and I think we saw this like a long time ago anyway, with the vacuum cleaner salesperson and your chimney sweeps. And it's almost as if like these guides had like, and these gatekeepers had also like had contracts with other people in your community and outside your community. And so almost intuitively those things would start connecting simultaneously or even before a situation would happen for you. So what else did you experience with that?
That that was really a fabulous feeling of clearing out the space when people just started to show up who needed a particular thing or wanted it that I didn't want or need anymore. And I just started feeling even more oxygen coming into me and more everything available with those things happening. And like you said, my house just started getting really rearranged in a way and upgraded in ways that I wasn't really planning or having to do a lot to make it happen. And so I just really started to feel the holiness of this half acre that I live on, and the connection to divinity that this very tall house has. And as the smoke goes out the chimney, that being another like vital organ of the whole organism. And just started feeling the whole place as an organism and understanding my place in it and reason for being here. And then, as you said, feeling the gatekeepers who already knew the sacredness of this ground and had already been attempting to show that to me. And and what transpired from there, acknowledging the gatekeepers, the guards, the guards and the guardians and the guides that I have to inform me. It just eliminated second guessing myself. Even though, for instance, when it really started to sink in was a week when we had another huge early snow, and I hadn't covered my firewood yet. And the whole week prior, I felt, oh, I should really cover that. But, I also had this feeling, well, I was thinking I should really get out there and get the tarps over the firewood. But I had this feeling that it wasn't necessary yet. And it was like this big lesson of noticing every time I was going, I should have covered the firewood. But now it's all snowy and wet. And then checking in, well, yeah, it is right now, but it's all going to melt and be fine. And you have more firewood coming anyway, so why cover? So it was just little things like that I would notice. I don't have to continuously tell myself what I should be doing, because I just have to check in and feel and ask. So that changes a lot.
Yeah, it's not only were they kind of like protecting you and even allowing you to rest, because that's really what we're finding, that like some of your gatekeepers are actually doing for you. They're like, no, Rita needs to rest. She needs to decide when she creates. She needs to decide when she comes outside. She gets to decide. And really, and I know that I said this a while back when we talked about these gatekeepers and this energy of your land, is that I believe through this that your guides and gatekeepers and those folks who, even through your dream about being in a castle, that they see you as, just as God sees you, as royalty walking on the land that you live on. So, whereas it's mostly it's contained with your house, I threw out a while back that this is more about the land you live on, the land your house is on, the lake called Home Lake, because I've been there, and how you have been somebody so in tune with nature and in tune with surroundings there, that this is more of an acknowledgement that, I don't want to necessarily use like outdated terms, but like it's almost like you are the queen or the mother figure or the empress, but not in a hierarchical way, of your land that you dwell on, because of your care and your reverence and your love for the land there. And it's very natural that people and guides would come to protect and be a gatekeeper for you. Have you noticed lately too that the more you rest, the more good things happen around you?
Yes. It's amazing how much gets done while resting. And there's another reprogramming that really has to be, the old programming has to be undone and replaced, because we definitely aren't told that in the world.
Yeah, we have Sleeping Beauty who comes in, like, who's sleeping and resting in the forest, and the forest is still alive, but then some man wants to try and wake her up by kissing her. Isn't that kind of symbolic?
Yeah.
It's here comes like the conquering hero man that we have in our storybooks, who wants to wake the sleeping princess, who is dreaming up the forest, who is um, you know, causing lots of wonderful things to be born, and they just want to wake her up. So no wonder you have gatekeepers.
Mm, yeah. Yeah. And the more I really understood these things, the more I felt so grateful and okay with just staying put and feeling the holiness here. And like you said, not queen as a hierarchical thing, but as being part of the holiness and really revering that. And that's what the gatekeepers are here for, not for me, but because they revere the holiness. So now, a year later, we're all working together. And I'm understanding what they've been doing all along. So it's much more conscious what does take place. And that's, yeah, it's fantastic. It's miraculous.
And this year, seeing all those things that transpired for you with the gatekeepers and like walking on the land and really just absorbing all that's holy, it has inspired me to like really dig in here as well. Just there, I'm finding that there is a, well, I found that last year, but I'm finding more and more this year that there's a real energy to really staying put and absorbing as much of the holiness of where you are. And you think that you've like gathered it. Okay, I've gathered up all the holiness of what's going on in my life. You haven't done it. So that was one of the lessons I had to learn through kind of observing you. Is like, okay, things are going well, but let's dig deeper and just absorbing all the holiness around you and staying put, not taking that holiness that you've absorbed and like feeling like you have to go somewhere else or share it with the world or go evangelize or okay, I'm holy now, so I'm gonna go find my purpose. So for me, kind of seeing that, it really helped me dig deeper here to realize, and my guides would start telling me, Scott, you don't have to try. You don't have to try anymore.
Yeah.
You don't have to um, set a goal anymore. You can be allowed to be. And if you need any example, you just look to Rita.
Mhm.
So, well, that's probably me talking, but um, yeah. So I think that's we get so distracted by all the shufflings and dramas of the day that we think that, oh, I'm just gonna gather up all I can to combat that. But then once you decide, no, I'm gathering it up to feel closer to God, to feel closer to the land, to feel closer to the holiness of all the things that they are.
And to discover everything that's been undiscovered before, as far as what a tree can really do, what I can really do with a tree, or and not to take all I've absorbed the holiness here, so now let's turn it into something that looks like riches or success. No, the success is discovering every day something new and profound and something that maybe wasn't available without revering the holiness.
And the payout is that we get to be a part of that.
Mm-hmm.
That's the, if you think of it, most people kind of think of, what am I learning now so that I can like actually get a quote payoff later? But the whole real currency of it is that you get to be a part of it. You get to keep building that relationship,
Mm.
and you get to realize, wow, there is day after day after day, there is more. And you just get to discover and be a part of it. So why would you want to trade that for some sort of riches or, you know, currency that would just dwindle or be devalued right away, you know?
Yeah, and it naturally just ripples out to other people. And that's what's just so, that's why you don't have to try. It just multiplies and expands all on its own, because that's the natural way of things.
I feel like I'm sowing seeds when I walk around, and I
Mm.
and I really understand the whole divinity of every place that I am when I'm staying put. So it gives me enough time to actually start. That's all it is, to just start to understand. Um, like you said, a tree, or you start to understand messages that trees and animals and birds and things are actually giving you.
Yes.
It's just you. It's so profound. It's just like, wow, it's just a start though. Which,
Yeah.
and it's humbling. I love it. I love
Mhm.
that.
Yeah, an infinite amount of discovery to just continue, and um, to never feel like I know everything. That's just absurd.
Yeah.
And most of what I do know came from somewhere else. So
And yeah, and the gatekeepers, they I think that, at least for me, when I kind of like explore my own, and it's probably very similar for you, is that they're actually here to actually maybe like give a little nudge, get off track a little bit, something gentle. Yeah, somebody came over, and it's kind of like a little review, like, oh yeah, somebody came over, and you kind of like gave away a little bit of yourself that maybe you shouldn't have, or maybe that, or let's talk about, you gave away a little bit of yourself here. What happened? So like sometimes they're just very gentle correctors
yeah.
for us, not necessarily like guarded with spears and arrows and things like that, but
Right.
they're they seem to be sort of gentle guides, and sometimes you really do recognize when they really divert other people away.
Mm-hmm. For
Yeah,
sure. Yeah.
yeah. What else have you found that they've done for you? Something concrete, maybe in the last year.
Well, I wanted to say that, or repeat maybe, that the importance of just being in yourself is so, um, has so much creative power, that there's still this notion on earth that you have to put yourself out there and get out there and get your message going and be an activist or whatever. If you're just staying home, you you get the stigma of not doing anything. But there's so much being done when I stay home and be in the holiness. And that's not something that sounds tangible, but it's it has been very tangible for me.
I like that a lot. Just and even when you like say, I've been napping, that makes me feel really good inside. It's like, oh, she's been napping, she's been resting. And so we believe, I like the taking turns of like telling each other, like, I've been napping a lot, I've been resting a lot. So um because yeah, I think that there's something to that.
Yeah.
We're able to just sort of rest in
Because our
God.
spirit is so much more productive and more, has so many more abilities than, I mean, what's this body? It's just a body, and let it rest so you can go actually get real things done.
Exactly. This 3D carbon sack holding our consciousness is pretty limited.
Yeah,
So yeah,
right.
pretty limited. And it's almost like you have to like force your way through to use this physical
Hmm.
body, because out there everyone else is trying to use their physical body to
Yeah, it's actually,
hurt themselves.
it's the distinction between force and power, I think, are the words that maybe come close to what I'm feeling. Using our physical bodies to force things to happen versus our spirits to just create these things.
Our spirits are that power.
Hmm.
They're like I think, our spirit is that battery or that power source or connection.
Well, probably our souls are that, maybe. And our spirits are another form of locomotion.
They're the solar panel.
Yeah.
The solar panel to God.
Hmm.
Yeah, inverting and creating. So yeah, there are lots of different reminders that just happen for me every once in a while, just staying put. And and then you allow, like last year at this time, I was really feeling my grandmother around winter. And so I wasn't quite sure then, but it's that idea of how I remember her just like being so excited to see me, but yet there were so many times she must have waited and waited and waited and just was content in waiting to actually have family visit. She never complained. Her purpose was more of a loving purpose. It wasn't to achieve something. It wasn't to um, laud over somebody or to have like certificates or achievements and all of those things, or even major goals or ambitions, other than like, I think I want to create this for the next reunion or something like that, or I think I want to host the reunion. So, so it was, so I find that like those guides really do come through more to me when I just also stay put on where I'm planted right now. And so that was a kind of an inspiration that you gave me. So, and all the times that Scott has said, I'm moving, I'm going to do this in the future, I'm going to move, I'm going to do this. I still have like like those ideas and fun parts, but maybe like there's also parts of me in other dimensions that are already doing that right now. So I'm letting them do that. So, but right now, this meat suit isn't going anywhere.
Right. Yeah, and
But
as you were talking, I remembered how really how hard it was, even for me, who had been meditating and staying quiet for years, to really still feel okay with just staying quiet and actually, feeling through the guilt that has been put upon all of us for not doing everything that we're supposed to do, supposedly supposed to do. And yeah, all the feelings that come up, and it's really hard to let, quote unquote, let things go. And I just started noticing how unnecessary so many things are that we force ourselves to do.
Yeah.
So many essentials, supposed essentials that you have to do to just keep life going.
I like that.
Or
And
wasting time. There's a big one.
what's that?
Wasting time.
Yes. Whereas many people think, oh, if you're napping or taking a nap or resting, you're wasting time, but it's totally not the case.
No.
You're wasting time spinning your wheel. Just
And
ambition in the
well,
culture is just
yeah, that phrase right there just tells us how we are continuously programmed to not know that we are infinite beings. If I have an eternity, doesn't that change everything?
it does change everything.
Mm-hmm.
And it will change everything when we realize that. So what if everyone woke up, but it's not our responsibility for everyone. It's we get to just do it for ourselves. But if everyone woke up, oh my gosh. So yeah, infinity. There's no ambition or goals in the way we know them in an infinite soul.
Yeah, this year's been a real relearning of the why behind everything I do. What am I doing this for? And if it's not to expand my own loving universe, then why bother?
Mm. And that really shows more of a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
That's our maybe like a real purpose, like what we do and think, and not even what we think, but it's just that because thinking gets in the way.
Yeah.
But there's a difference in like gathering, grounding our feet into where we're planted, even like these spiritual feet, these spirit body, dream feet in where you are. That's a good one. Dream feet.
Hmm.
Anchor your dream feet where you are. And then you realize that the big purpose is to just explore that infinite creative stream
Mm-hmm.
that's always there, that expands, and then then your guides start coming in and your nature starts coming in, and no one bothers to try and wake up Sleeping Beauty in the forest. She's just dreaming it all into existence.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be great? Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
I highly recommend it.
Yes. All right. Sounds like a lot of fun. I think I'm gonna go take a nap. No, I can't. Well, for now, I'm not able to, but I will. So,
Yeah.
all right. Thanks, Rita.
Thank you.